Welcome back to Board Game Breakdown, everyone. I'm Chris Solomon, and today I have a very special video for you. It is on the second expansion for Parks called Wildlife. And this literally just started shipping out about a week ago, so I'm not even sure if it's on shelves yet at retail stores. If it's not yet, I'm sure it will be very soon. But I really enjoy it. I am a fan of Parks. I've done a video on both Parks and the second expansion, Nightfall. So if you watch those, you'll know that I'm a fan. And just like with those, I'm a fan of Wildlife. So just got a quick overview for you today. Want to go over what's different about Wildlife, what it adds to the base game, and just what I really like about the game, and kind of go over some pointers with you. As always, before we move on, please check out the website. It's boardgamebreakdown.com. You can go there and see our text versions of our reviews, links to our other YouTube videos. If you see anything that you like and would like to purchase, there should be links, as we are an Amazon affiliate, so you can use those links to purchase any of the games that you see that are available on Amazon. And we really encourage you to do that, as that will help keep the website and the YouTube channel going. And that would just be a great way for you guys and girls out there to help kind of put back into the creation of this content. You can also hit us up on Instagram. We are board.game.breakdown, so you can check us out there. And we encourage anyone who wants to interact to drop us a comment on either the YouTube video, on the site, on Instagram, any of those social media sites. We love seeing the interaction and hearing what you all are up to. So with that, I want to go ahead and get started with Wildlife. So you'll see here that we have a partial setup of the game Parks, and I've added a few of the things from Wildlife in already that we'll discuss, and then we will go through how to finish setting it up so I can show you the differences. As I set this up, you might see some components or tiles or cards related to the Nightfall expansion, because I have those mixed in to the base game, but you do not need the Nightfall expansion in order to play Parks with the Wildlife expansion. So what we're going to do first is talk about setting up the trail, because that is slightly different, because this expansion, unlike the Nightfall expansion, gives you some extra trail tiles that are going to come out. So what you need to do is you need to take your normal, the standard trail tiles that have the little tent logo down here. It's just a normal tent. So you're going to grab those as normal. Set those there for a second. And then you're going to split off your special trails that have that little star there next to the tent. You're going to get 4 new ones of these for Wildlife. So I think there's 2, and then there's 1, and there's 1. And we're going to go over in detail what's going on with there. But what you're going to do is you're going to always grab this one that came in the standard Parks game. And this is going to be the first one that you mix in for season 1. So in previous games, as far as iterations of Parks, when you did not have Wildlife, you would just mix in, grab 4 of these, and one of them would go in each season. This one might go in and might not, but for Wildlife, you're always going to put this one in first. You're then going to take the remainder of these advanced ones and shuffle them up, and you're going to do 1, 2, 3, and these are going to sit to the side, and that's going to come out in the following 3 seasons. So then you'll take these, which are again that one special tile, and all the standard ones, shuffle them up, and then you'll place them out for the trail. So that would be our starting trail. After this season, we'd shuffle them back up. Eventually this would come out, this would come out, and this would come out. Obviously those would get shuffled and they wouldn't just go there at the end, but if you play this game, you understand what that's all about. So let's grab up these two. I'm going to slide this out of the way. And let me find the other two new ones, and we'll just quickly talk about these. So I like this because, like I said before, the Nightfall expansion did not add any new trail tiles. So it's kind of cool that they've added some in here. With that, the Nightfall expansion added the camping tiles that are not currently in frame. So let's talk about these. So this one here, when you place your camper on this tile, you immediately, and immediately is signified by this lightning bolt. If you did not play the Nightfall expansion, then that might be new to you. Those are actions that you take immediately. You can immediately take an action of a filled canteen. So it has to be one of your canteens that you've already filled with water. You do not get to now place a water in a canteen and do something with it. So that's that one. This one's pretty interesting, as I don't think there's any other tile that's quite like this. So what that first little emblem says is everyone else around the table, your opponents, when you take this action, get to grab a star or a sun, however you refer to them, and then you get to take the action of any trail space that does not have a hiker already on it. So it's kind of a cool way to activate a trail that maybe you already passed and you can't go backwards in this game. So this one is you turn an animal token, which are like wild tokens, and you get 2 stars or suns and 2 waters. You'll see as we go through this that the animal tokens are much more prevalent in this game, hence wildlife, and they allow you to do some extra things throughout the game, or you have more ways of getting them. So that's a cool card because maybe you've stacked up on wildlife tokens and near the end of the game, maybe you don't need them as much and you could turn them in for other resources. And then lastly, we've got this one that allows you to take one of your photo tiles that are typically worth 1 point at the end of the game, and you can trade that in and get one of each resource. So those are the 4 new tiles that you get with wildlife. So now let's go up here and talk about the park cards, because those are always the ones that everyone wants to look at and discuss. And so just like Nightfall, you get some more park cards with this game. You'll see I laid out 3 here that look quite a bit different. They have this like mural of different wildlife on it, and you get some of those in the game, and then you get some of the standard type cards, which I'll show you in a second. But the thing with these is they always cost at least 1, if not more, animal token. So you see each one of these costs 1, and then there's some additional costs, like this costs 1 star and the animal token. This costs a tree and animal token, and this costs 2 trees and animal token. Again, some of them have this lightning bolt. If you are new to this and did not play Nightfall, then what that means is when you pull this card and you visit it or buy it, and you put it in your little tableau area, you get to not only get these points at the end of the game, you get to do this. So like this one allows you to grab a canteen card. And we'll talk about this a little further down the video, but in this game, whenever you see that, you grab 2 canteens now and you get to pick one. So I liked it in Nightfall that they added these. It just kind of gives you more actions. My wife and I's original complaint about parks was at the end of the game, it felt like we just kind of wanted to do more throughout the game. And Nightfall and now Wildlife have really added more immediate actions. So it feels like you're doing a lot more. So I'm going to grab these top two that I put in. So here's two more that are not the wildlife. They're like the standard looking artwork. But you see down at the bottom, even though they don't cost animal tokens, there's an immediate effect when you visit this park that gives you an animal token. So you just mix these park cards in, just like all the others, and play like normal. Now what is not normal are these guys. So in the standard wildlife, you get this bison token. This was from pre-ordering it. I think this was like their little promotional. You get this bear token. They both do the same thing, and you just pick which one you want to play with. So right now we're going to just use the bison. So when you start the game, the bison goes on that leftmost park card. What happens is when someone decides to visit this park, they get an additional action where they either trade in one resource that they have for an animal token, and then they can pay for the park and put it in their collection, or they can pay for the park, put it in their collection, resolve the park, and then turn a resource into an animal token. So it's kind of an extra reward for visiting the park that has the animal sighting on it. Now, once that happens and this card goes to someone's collection, the bison moves to the next park. So now this is the card that if you buy, you get to do that additional action, and then it would move to this park. The other thing to keep in mind is the park that the animal is on can no longer be reserved. So if you haven't played this game before, you can take an action where you reserve a park. And what that means is you grab a park card, which maybe you don't have the resources, you can't pay for it, but you want to keep this. You don't want anyone else to grab it. So you reserve it and you take it and you place it in your area horizontally like that. And then eventually when you want to visit a park, you could pay for this, and then it goes like that, showing that you actually visited it. So you can no longer reserve any of the three. This one is not reservable. All right, so what happens at this point when the bison gets here and someone buys this card? Well, he's just going to travel back to that spot. This would go in the collection. This would come out. But there's additional thing that happens is that the player who bought that card and triggered the bison to go back now gets to pick one of these gear cards to toss to the side and refresh. There's also a variant that you can, every time the bison moves here to here, you can scrap all three gear and put out three new ones. So I think that is in order to get more gear cards out. And why would you want more gear cards out? Because in wildlife, they've given you additional gear cards. So these three that I scrapped before are an example. You'll know that they come from the wildlife expansion because of the W right there. But like, for example, this one, gain an animal after you visit a park. So if that's in your collection, every time you visit a park, you get an additional animal. There are also gear now that have these immediate actions like some of the other cards. So when you buy this, you immediately get one water drop, and then you can fill a canteen for free whenever you move the buffalo, bison, whatever. And I'll show you one more upgraded shutter. When you gain an animal token, you instead could gain a photo, which is a point at the end of the game. So I like this part of the game. I like the new gear. They seem to be a little more action heavy, where they are going to give you additional actions. That's always fun. I like the fact that you can now at least scrap one, and we play with a variant where you scrap all three. So it makes them a little more, you might want to prioritize getting them because they might not stay out there for very long. So I like that because before the gear just kind of hung out for a long time, and I kind of felt like that was part of the game that was just kind of stale. So much like the gear, you're going to get additional canteens and additional weather cards. So I'm going to flip over these top two canteens. I put them up here. They are specifically from Wildlife. Again, you've got your little W emblem. So this one, whenever you get a water droplet and you fill the canteen, you get both a sun and a water. And then this one lets you trade in a resource for a camera or a photo. Sorry. Again, like I said, at this, if you're playing Wildlife, whenever you get that, sorry, knocked into the tripod there. Whenever you get the emblem like this, where it says plus canteen, you now get to draw two canteens and pick which one you want. From playing this, I've noticed that there are a lot more actions that let you trigger canteens and fill canteens. So again, I think that the name of the game here is just trying to give players a lot more actions and decisions they can take throughout the game. You also get some additional weather cards. So I'll grab these two because they are from this expansion. And this one's pretty cool. So you can visit anyone who wants to visit the top card of the park deck, meaning that one over there, so you don't even know what it is. You can pay one of each of those resources and you get to visit that card and put it in your collection. And then here's an example of another one. When you use your campfire, which means when you get to use a spot that someone else is on, all players at that site gain a star or a sun. So it's kind of rewarding the player that you are doubling up with, which could be yourself, getting you another card. And then lastly, you do get some extra little animal tokens. These are always fun. They don't really do anything different, but who doesn't like some animal meeples? So you get a butterfly. I think that's one of my daughter's favorite ones. You get a mallard, duck, whatever. I guess it's like a field mouse. And then a little squirrel. So that is it for the additional things that come with Wildlife. So, just thinking about it compared to Nightfall, Nightfall gave you a whole new deck of year-end cards, which I liked a lot because I didn't like the previous year-end cards, but it also introduced these camping tiles where you can move a tent onto these, take them, they flip back and forth. So it kind of gave you an additional mechanism there, and it obviously gave you more park cards, but that was kind of it, which was great for that expansion, but I like that they kind of flipped it this time. And yes, they added this new animal token that's going to move, but honestly, it doesn't change a whole lot, but you get a lot more upgraded canteen cards, weather cards, gear cards, and these tiles down here. So I like that they kind of flipped it by one expansion adding a kind of a new mechanic that changes the way you play, and then on this expansion jumped over to really just giving you more and better stuff to add to it. So I really like that you can basically add both expansions in together, and it's really not that much more complicated. You learn one or two extra rules and you're set. I like that when compared to games that have multiple expansions and you kind of got to pick which expansion you use. As much as I like Everdell, and I really do love Everdell, you kind of got to pick, okay, am I going to play it with Belfair? Am I going to play it with Spirecrest? Because when you add it all together, it's a lot, and there's a lot happening, and it gets overly complicated. So I like the way that the designers are handling parks, and the expansions run about $20, so that's not a huge deal, and it's just a fun time to kind of add them all together and have a lot of different decisions and outcomes. So thank you for joining me for this quick overview of the brand new expansion Wildlife for the game Parks. please go to our website, boardgamebreakdown.com, where we've got text reviews and reviews to other YouTube videos. We're also an Amazon affiliate, so if you see anything that you like, please use the link there on the page to purchase it from Amazon, if that's where you would like to purchase it from. That will just help keep the website going, keep these videos and content being made. You can also check us out on Instagram. We are at board.game.breakdown, where we're posting new games that we're getting, upcoming reviews, and as always, please leave us a comment. We love to interact with everyone and let us know what you think about everything. So again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and we look forward to doing some more here in the future and getting them posted. All right, bye guys.